Hello, welcome to this introduction tutorial in how to create a survey using Google Forms. I'm going to take you through the steps in creating a survey for an EPSS, an electronic performance support system, that a group might give to a collective group of staff and administrators to gauge their interest in what kind of topics or whether they would actually be interested in participating in an EPSS. So first off, I've got my Google Drive open here, and I'm going to just choose the appropriate folder that I want it to go in. So I'm going to start with my tech stuff folder, and I'm going to create a new folder very specifically for EPSS survey. So within that folder, once it's open, I come here to the New button on the right-hand side. I come down to More, and I create a Google form. It opens in a new tab, Untitled, and so the very first step that I have to do is I have to amend the title. So I'm going to go ahead and call that EPS Survey for Staff and Administration. There we go. Now you'll notice that up here it hasn't changed the title yet, but the minute I click on it, the change has been made. Now I've already copied in Word off the screen here, so I'm going to add a description. Here's where I would put in the form description, and there's just a little bit of a description as to what this form is about, what the survey itself is about, so that when the people receive the form, they're being asked to fill it in. It tells them a little bit about what's going on. Before I get going, I do want to come to this button here, which is the Add Section button, because my survey is going to be in two parts. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to title the very first part just simply Introduction. Go. Introduction. I'm not going to bother giving it a description. I'm going to get straight into the questions. So the first question I'm going to say is, do you consider yourself to be an early adopter of educational technology? And I do want this, rather than being a multiple choice question, to be a linear scale question. 1 to 5 is fine. I prefer to keep it 1 to 5. If I go with a 1 to 4, like so, then there's no middle value. So let's go with a 1 to 4, and we'll say no, not really for value number 1, and the label for value number 4 is going to be yes, very much so. This is going to be a required question. That means that the user won't be able to submit the form until they have checked an answer for this particular question. Now I want to go ahead and continue on to the next question. This one is going to be, what kind of technology are you currently using in your classroom? So I will just copy and paste. There we go. And I have a list of options. I'll keep this one as a checkbox because I want them to be able to choose multiple options. So the first option will be projector. And then just simply tabbing allows me to do PowerPoint. Followed by a tab, again and again. An LMS, something like Moodle or Google Classroom. Let's do Blackboard. Collaborate, maybe some video capture, GAIF, using Google Drive, perhaps, tablet and stylus, specifically for instruction. Laptop, maybe Chromebooks, maybe tablets, iPads or Android tablets, and smartphones. Let's go with digital and self-marking assessment. Maybe Kahoot or Padlet as an app, maybe a digital grade book. So there we have the list of different technologies that the person's using in their classroom. I want to now add a question. And based on the previous answer, I want to say, are there any other specific educational technologies that you are currently using? Please list them below. Now, obviously I can't do that with a multiple choice question, so I'm going to change this and I'll go with a short answer. I want to change this question here, so I just click within it and I want to make it a required question. But this bottom one I'm not going to change. Let's add one more question. So we'll go here to another question and let's say, in which areas of educational technology do you consider yourself to be skilled? And I want a checkbox again. This time I'm going to say digital lesson creation, digital lesson delivery, digital assessment, multimedia, or perhaps video creation, lesson online streaming, file and folder management, very critical skill, digital assessment, digital assignment, sorry, sharing, digital assignment marking, and I'm now going to leave the add other category because I want them to be able to provide a description if there was something else that maybe they are using that hasn't been listed. Now, given that I'm going to reuse all of these and I don't want to type them out another time, I'm now going to use the duplicate category. And you'll see that the question appears an entire time again, allowing me to just change this here and say, in which areas of educational technology would you like to increase your skill level? And now I don't have to type this all out again because it's already been put in. And the next question is going to be, would you consider joining the development team for an EPSS at our school? And I'm going to make this as a multiple choice question. And I'm going to say yes and no. But here now, these three little dots, they open up another little list. And so I'm going to go to another section based on the answer. But to do this, I need to have my next section. So my next section is going to be called the EPSS development team. And so now, when I say continue to the next section, I am going to go on to EPSS development team, or rather, submit the form. So we can see here if they answer yes, they would like to join the team, it takes them to the next section where we can ask more questions. Or if they say no, let's make that a little less aggressive, then it simply ends the form for them. So I'm going to make that a required question as well because I need them to be able to answer this. So the EPSS development team will add a question here. And I would like to say, have you ever created an instructional video before? Any options there that we'll give will be yes or no, but I am going to give a third option. I'm going to say I have created video, just not instructional videos. Let's add another question. Have you ever worked collaboratively online on a group project before? Now that's important because this kind of work is done digitally, and so we'll say yes or no, and that could be a handy skill that a person joining the team would want to have. And now this one's going to be a little longer, so I'll just copy from my Word document. There we go. Please list a couple of educational technologies that you feel should be included in the EPSS. So given that they are going to be creating a list, we'll provide them with a paragraph space because we're hoping for more than a few of them. And the last question that I'm going to ask is, we'll make a new one here, are there any team members that you would recommend for recruitment? They might know of people who have particular skills who are perhaps a bit shy, and so we'll make this one here a short answer question. That way they can type the text in as well. And that's it. We've completed all of the components of the survey. We've put in all of the questions. And so let's take a look and see what it would look like. So we click that preview button. Here's the introduction. We click next. We get the introduction portion. This is where we would answer the various questions. Here's that short answer that we were looking for, where they would provide a list. We can see that these were repeated with an option for them to add. And would you consider joining? There's the red asterisk indicating that one must be completed. So that looks pretty good so far. I'm going to come back here and change. We're not going to use an add-on here because I don't want to restrict any values for this particular survey. But I do think that we need to just change the color. I find the purple is a little bit aggressive, so I'm going to change to a nice passive green. There we go. Hopefully that'll get more people answering the survey. If I had chosen, I could select this icon here, where it would allow me to add an image, which would change. I'll just kind of show you what some of them would look like. Actually, I think maybe we could, let's pick that one. That looks pretty good. These are selected ones. You could upload your own as well. There we go. So we can see that the image is now in the background. So the final step to this would be to come to the settings menu. I do not wish to restrict this to the school district. This is my domain. So I'm going to uncheck this. And I'm not going to limit one response. If I get multiple responses from each person, that's just fine. And I don't really mind if they edit after they submit. Perhaps they've had time to think and that they want to change an answer, so I'll allow them to do that. The presentation show the progress bar. I think for a longer survey like this, that's quite important. I don't want to shuffle the questions because I have put them in a very specific order. And I will show the link because I don't mind if they submit a second response or a third response. But this is the confirmation message. So I'm just going to change this and I'm going to say thank you for completing the EPSS survey. Your answers will go a long way to helping the development team create a quality program. It's not a quiz, so I won't make this one a quiz, but if I were to be using this as a quiz format, this is where I could then have the form actually create the answers and self-mark it automatically. So back to save, and we're done. Send. Collect usernames. This is going to then only pull from my own domain. I would, in this case here, type in the email addresses of the people that I wish to send it to. If I wanted the form to be within the email itself so they didn't have to follow a link, I would check this box. I will send it to myself, sthomas@prn.bc.ca, sample EPSS survey. This survey is to help gather data for a potential EPSS. I can then, via this, get a short link where I could copy and paste this into a document that I would either print or that I would display on a projector. This is very handy if I were to just copy that, so I Control C to copy it. In a new tab, I go to Beautiful QR Code. That's my default QR code maker. And I am going to paste this using Control V and generate the QR code. Just takes a second. There it is. So I will click on the image, right click on the image and copy it. Come back to my folder. Now within this I have the EPSS survey. That's the folder where I've made my quiz or my form. I am going to make a new Google Doc. I am going to say EPSS survey for staff and administrators. Paste the image. I want to copy that link again because I overwrote it in the clipboard when I copied it into the QR code. Just change the font a little bit here. Maybe Times New Roman. Let's make it a little bit bigger. There we go. This one here. We can expand just a touch. There we are. And we can actually, to shorten that even further, get rid of the HTTPS. We don't need that. That we'll center just for a little bit of a visual. And center this one as well. And there we go. This would show up on the projector. Anybody with a QR code reader on a smartphone, for example, can simply scan the QR code. If we were to print this, they could scan that and it would take them straight to the survey. So this is the preview that I'm in. I'll close those out again and show you that when we go here to preview, here's the survey now with the picture, the image. When we change this, there's the progress bar showing that we added, the description. Next, do you consider yourself to be an early adopter? Yes, I do, so I click there. I use all of these actually, so I'm clicking all of those. Are there others? Yes, there are. I use digital sensors in science, for example. I'll leave it there. I do actually consider myself to be skilled in all of these areas. But not video creation. So I am going to say I want to be more skilled in video creation, and I'm also going to select other, and I am going to say, let's see, lesson collaboration. Would I join the team? Yes. When I click next, it takes me to the next level. If I had said no, it would have ended the survey and asked me to submit it right there. Have I created an instructional video before? Yes, I have. Have I worked collaboratively? Yes, I have. List a couple of educational technologies. I think that video creation is important, and I also feel that digital grade books are very important. Are there any other team members? Yes, I actually think that Bob Smith should join the team as well. And now we're at the end, page 3, the bar is finished. Submit. It gives me an option to edit my response or to submit another response. I'm happy. It's been done. When I return now to the initial form, as the creator of the form, I see this page. Now I see a 1 here. That tells me that there has been a response. If I click on the responses, there's only 1, so everything is 100%, but you could see here how these are now bar charts or graphs, and this is a description because it was a short survey. I did not answer multimedia or others, so those come up as 0. 100% the pie graph, simply because that's myself. So we get a very quick sense of what the results were. But if I want to see the actual data, then I open here, create a spreadsheet. Create the new spreadsheet. It will automatically append responses to the title there, so that's fine. I'm going to do that, and it will put it in the folder that the original formula was in. So here we go, timestamp. These are all of the responses that I put. So that's how you create a survey using Google Forms. Thanks for watching.